And guys, on Matthew 26, verse 36 to 46, going to pick up there. Sorry, I was away last week, so I haven't done one for a while. So Matthew 26:36 says, Then Jesus came to them to a place called Gethsemane and said to his disciples, Sit here while I go over there and pray. And it's just interesting in scripture, every word, and specifically names of people, names of places, they actually have quite a deep meaning in the sense of Gethsemane. It's an oil press, means oil press. That's where they squeezed out this olive oil, and Jesus is now, his life is, he's going to feel the pressure of the sin of mankind, and we'll see how he sweats drops of blood from this pressure. Then he took with him Peter and the two sons of Zebedee and began to be grieved and distressed. And that grieving, often we think of Jesus knowing that he's going to the cross to be crucified, and the horrendousness of that crucifixion is absolutely horrific. But the grieving is far, far deeper than that. We actually can't consider what it is to become a curse, to carry the sins of the whole world, to receive the wrath of God on us. We just can't imagine, but that's what Jesus is now starting to experience. Then he said to them, My soul is deeply grieved to the point of death. Remain here and keep watch with me. And so what we can learn a lot is when we go through these difficult times, because the disciples were grieved with him when they saw Jesus. They also were grieved, but they obviously didn't understand fully. But we need to keep watch, and we need to pray. And when those hours of temptation come, we really need to draw close to God. And he went a little beyond them and fell on his face and prayed, saying, My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will. And there's nothing wrong in those times of weakness for us to just to cry out to God and say, Lord, I can't bear this anymore. I just don't know what to do. And just be honest with God and share your heart with God. But he will give you the strength you need to bear. And he went a little beyond them and fell on his face and prayed, saying, My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. But yet not I will, but as you will. And that's the key to all of our prayers. Not our will, but God's will. And so we seek God's will always. In a situation, the flesh is always going to be pulling one way, but we need to making sure that we are in God's will. This cup often represents the cup of suffering, and here in this Gethsemane account, definitely this cup of suffering, and although he's crying out to God and God's putting him through this, we know that it doesn't make him any less. We see the humanity of Jesus here. We see him suffering as a man suffers, but we also know that it doesn't make him any less God, because he is laying his life down. John 10:18 says, No one takes it from me, but I lay it down to my accord. Just want to give an example from Psalm 75 regarding the cup of suffering. So it says in 75 verse 8, For a cup is in the hand of the Lord, and the wine foams. It is well mixed, and he pours out of this. Surely all the wicked of the earth must be drained and drink down its dregs. The cup, and even if you think of the bowls of wrath in Revelation, often symbolize that suffering that we need to go through. Verse 40, And he came to his disciples and found them sleeping. And he said to them, So you men could not keep watch with me for 1 hour. And in Luke we hear that it was because of the sorrow that they slept. Often it's sorrow makes us tired as well. And when we grieve, the flesh, it's very, very difficult. The flesh is always pulling us in one way. But we need to make sure, as it says in verse 41, I'm going to end with this, keep watching and praying that you may not enter into temptation. So that's the key. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. And so when you are entering those times of temptation, you must be on your guard. You must pray. There's times where you know you're going to be put into a difficult place, that you're going to be tempted, and at those times it's very important that you're on your guard, that you're praying for help, crying out to God, and you're not trying to do it in your own strength. Amen.